What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Rex Righteous, and I'm back with another rap rant. Alright, so let's talk about last night. Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev 2. Let's talk about all of it. Fight review. So, first of all, I want to just say it flat out Sergey Kovalev lost last night. So, that is a fact, and that is a fact on this channel no matter what. Those were the results, and to say that I agree with them is not something I want to really get into. But to be honest with you, I feel like the stoppage was not something that I saw coming or even agree with. If you check my timeline, you'll know that I don't agree with it. There was a lot of borderline punches, and some people are saying that borderline punches are okay and it happens in boxing, but Ward was warned about it. He was not taking away a point or anything, but he was told to not do it, And there was a lot of hugging going on in the beginning of the fight. I will say that Ward did look good in the beginning of the fight. This is not a pro Kovalev channel or pro Ward channel or anything like that. This is just my observation. So when I first saw the first couple of rounds, I was saying, okay, maybe I shouldn't even score this fight because it was looking so boring. I'm telling you, it was the same thing over and over again. And I was expecting some kind of some kind of dramatic ending. I could already sense it. There was no knockdown like the first fight. 'Cause I literally felt like I was watching the same fight over again. I felt like I was watching it right over again, and I was like, wow, this feels exactly like the first fight. So, I'm watching it at my friend's house. The first round, I thought it could have went to Kovalev, but I wouldn't be mad at someone if they gave it to Ward. Okay, first round is a feeler round. It's cool. So second round, I think Kovalev's landing more. Now, mind you, CompuBox had it for Kovalev at the end when it came to points and stuff. I usually don't agree with them all the time, but that's just one way to look at it. So second round comes in, I got Kovalev tied, and then boom, he wins the third round. Fourth round, I think the fifth or the sixth, I start to lean towards Ward. Now, the only reason why I'm leaning towards Ward is that he's having moments, but he's not being absolutely consistent. Like I said before, I took a little bit of some other people's ideology and I used it, and I took it into my form of scoring. When it comes to scoring, I use a 3-minute round rule. Now, if you win 2 minutes out of those rounds, out of a 3-minute round, then you won the round. If in the first minute you win that round and then you win the last part of the round, then you still won. Some people like to score it, well, he hit him harder in that round and he looked better. He looked better, but that's not scoring, They're not actually counting punches, so whatever. So, being that it was getting a little dramatic, and of course Ward's grabbing, he's grappling, he's holding, he's doing some borderline punches to his waist around, like almost low blows. If not, they were low blows. Some were low blows. And then I start to see what's happening. Now, if you guys know boxing, you know that the guys that like to grab and stuff like that or hold, they are basically disrupting your pattern or whatever it is that you do to make it for them. So Kovalev's jabbing. Ward was grabbing and then exchanging. So it's like he's getting a reset every couple minutes, and 15-20 seconds are just flying by with the grabbing and all that stuff. So my man Luke was saying that Kovalev did the right thing, which he was doing. So whenever Ward grabbed him, he would just press his body up against Ward and take him to the other side of the ropes, or if not, he would just move him, so he could show that he was dominating, and he was doing that. I would say all the way to the fourth round. I haven't rewatched the fight, but I don't remember all the rounds perfectly, but I think it was in the fourth round. So Kovalev was doing that. Then he started to become more he was disoriented, basically. He got confused, and this is the way I see it, okay? He was confused from all the grabbing, the holding, the nut punching, and all that shit. And then what happened is, after he got grabbed and he got punched off of an exchange from after a grab, the ref's telling you, reset, okay, go over here. Boom, he hits him on an exchange. So now he's like disoriented. This is before all the mean low blows, like the shocking ones. Okay? So he's getting hit. You know what I'm saying? He's getting hit. And this was before that right hand punch. So then, boom, they start to exchange. They're going back and forth. Ward pops him with the right hand. And that, to me, is what changed the fight. Kovalev seemed like he was trying to sell the shots that were being punched to the genitals. And to me, I felt like that was very important. Do you sell the nut punches, or do you continue to just get punched there and just keep going? I mean, at this point, I don't think Kovalev can make any more excuses for the media. It's, I didn't train hard enough. This and that. Not one time has this man said, this dude grabbed me, this guy's low blowing me. He only said it because the fight ended like that. But he never ever has come out saying that. So that's one of the main issues that I have, So anyway, going back to after the right hand, Ward's on him. He's on him. He was all over him. Now he's a different fighter. It's so funny, man. I'm telling you. If you look at the way Ward was fighting before he connected with that right hand, which was a beautiful right hand. I'm never going to ever deny that. That was the best right hand I've ever seen Ward hand. On both sides, on both fights with Kovalev. That was the best right hand I've ever seen him land. After the right hand, you can tell that Ward turns into a completely different fighter. He's cutting off the ring now. He's all like, hands off. He's not holding no more. He's just after Kovalev. Like, I gotta get you. He turns into the Terminator. I mean, to be honest with you, he looked like Triple G after he landed that right hand. But he can't come out fighting like that. You see what I'm saying? It's all about getting inside Sergey's mechanism of how he fights. And the refs, the judges, all let it happen. And it's like Andre Ward is saying, he is cracking Sergey's code. He's cracking his code. Because Sergey doesn't rely on judges or refs. He does not rely on them. And I'm not saying that Andre Ward does, but at the same time, they definitely do show favoritism because they're letting him slide with so much stuff. So my whole thing is this. If Ward is allowed to do these things, what's the point of fighting a guy like Ward? You know what I'm saying? He is a champion. He has a decorated resume with he's an Olympic gold medalist. He's done a lot, in the sport, and he's been a commentator. He's ambassador in some ways. But you got this guy getting media credentials for his friends and family. It's questionable, man. There are a lot of things that are questionable about just his camp and stuff and what he's creating, There's rumors too that he's about to go to Top Rank, that his contract with Rock Nation is over. So that's interesting, but I don't know if he's gonna leave like the light heavyweight division. I'm jumping around here a bit, so I'm just trying to get everything out. But to fight Anthony Joshua, see, that's what I'm saying. Ward fans, what's going on, man? What's going on? I never heard him say Anthony Joshua's name, never, until after that. So it's like, you have a favorite fighter. Your fighter beats supposedly dominantly. I mean, to you guys, he came off dominant because he never lost a round in this fight. He didn't lose at all. Okay, so he didn't lose a round. Then he knocks him out somehow. Knocks out Kovalev. Beats the monster. Kills him. Destroys him. Makes him look like shit. Then he calls out Anthony Joshua. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. The cruiserweight is the next division up. It's not heavyweight. Cruiserweight is the next division up. You got all those guys that he could fight at 75. 75 is not depleted. It's not weak. It's not like he's Terrence Crawford. He just got there. He's only had like maybe 5 fights at the max. So I don't understand what. Oh, the money. Oh, it's the money. The money. It doesn't matter that he won all those titles. So why are you showing it on the camera? What's the point of having it? I wouldn't even want that stuff. If you feel like you beat Kovalev so easy. So those are me. This is me expressing, man. I'm serious. Like, I'm not happy with the turnout, the results. You know, there's a lot of assumptions and people that think that Ward is a great fighter. That's fine. I'm not gonna disagree with you on what you want to believe. I understand that. Because I am one of the people that think that Kovalev won the first fight. You know? And some of the people that still are going to ride for Ward are going to say that he lost or they're going to say that Kovalev lost that first fight too. So that's the people I'm talking to, is the Ward fans. It's like, to me, I just feel like nothing connects. Nothing connects to a champion. You know? He's a good fighter. He's known for doing a lot of things, but he doesn't show me that he's a champion. And one of the main reasons why is the low blowing thing. That was crazy. I never seen anything like that. I never seen a stoppage like that. The low blows was obvious, you know. And I like to be honest with people. You know what I mean? These are my opinions. I'm not gonna go off and talk about like it's fact. That's one thing I'm not gonna do. I watch a lot of channels. I pay attention to a lot of guys. You know, I don't give a lot of shout outs to everybody, but you know, I watch all you guys. I see what you guys do, and to be honest with you, I don't see how the fuck can you do a fight like that. You know, like, you come out in a way where you want to get inside on a guy, you got him where you need him, and you can't finish him, and the only way you can do it is low blow a guy. Now, okay, going away from that, Tony Weeks used to be one of my favorite refs. Used to be. Now I don't even have a favorite ref because I've seen that it's not about officiating all the time. It's mainly about doing what's right. And doing what's right isn't always going to turn out how I think it should be. Now, I'm trying to become a member of the media. You guys know that. For some people, it's not that hard to get into because I've heard stories of, you know, people just doing the weirdest favors. I've been approached, you know, and when I started doing my own thing, all of a sudden now I gotta go back to doing the way I know how to do it. You know, go back to trying to get credentials how I know how to do it. So, you know, that part is already there. You know what I'm saying? And the ref, he just missed everything. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the replay, he's looking right at the action. Like, he's right in there. Like, you see his head. He's like leaning and stuff. He's like, oh snap! Man, he's getting punched right in the lower part of his body. Yeah, I'm gonna stop the fight. Why? Because if he would have took off a point, that's it. There would have been no way Ward could have came back. No way. This is in the 8th round. There was one judge that had it for Kovalev, right? You take away a point from Andre Ward, it makes it a tie even on Dave Moretti's scorecard. Because Dave Moretti and some other dude had the exact same score, which is, I don't know how the hell, but I mean, it's possible, it happens, but it's just weird, because it was a very close fight. Either way, can't argue that. That can happen. But I still find it funny. Even still, those two guys, they have the same scorecard. One round up for Ward. One round up. If he gets his point taken away, all the progress that Ward did goes right back. It would have went right back. And it would have been tied. And that one dude that had it for Kovalev would have had 2 rounds up. That would have not looked good. This is the 8th round. The 8th round. That's how serious it was. All this man needed to do was take a breather. Man, I'm telling you, man. I've never seen something like this so blatant. So maybe the only thing I could see it as is like maybe soccer. But soccer, there's so many people involved. You got the ref, you got all the fans, so many side bets like galore in soccer. It's not even close. So this is just blatant, man. And, I think Kovalev could come back and even get his titles back. Of course, Ward's not going to fight there. But my whole thing is I'm not cool with the whole I'm going for the money. I was looking at Sergey Kovalev's amateur career, and it's not that bad. I did speak on the fact that I thought he wasn't as diverse as Gennady Golovkin, and he probably might not be just as a person, but he's fought enough and he's traveled enough to be as diverse as Gennady. If he chooses not to be, that's his problem. But I will speak on the fact that one positive thing that I could take away from Andre Ward's corner is that they were definitely for sure together on it. They were all one. And that's where I feel like Kovalev was missing. That's what I feel like he was missing. It was all on the crusher, and that was the problem. He put all this pressure on himself. I know that these guys come from another country and they get these trainers that they become cool with, or maybe that the promoter sets them up with, to take care of guys that are not from this country and stuff. And they gain, or they create this false relationship sometimes. But it just depends. So if you check out like a guy like Lomachenko, or a guy like Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach and stuff like that, Gennady Golovkin, Abel Sanchez, these pairs, man, one of the best pairs, Roger Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather. Great pair. As soon as Roger started to lose out on a little bit of his health, Floyd changed. A lot changed for Floyd. He became richer, and I feel like he became less of a fight fan. It's just not the same. But anyway, going back to the trainers, Kovalev, I feel like the chemistry isn't there anymore with John David Jackson. And I feel like a lot of it is because Kovalev never let John David Jackson really train Kovalev. It's like one of my homies said on YouTube. He said that John David Jackson became like more like a caregiver. You know, I think I see him as a caregiver, but I also see him as like a translator as well. Because if if Kovalev doesn't want to talk like that, or he can't get deep into conversations, then who else you gonna have there? The promoter don't got time for that. She's thinking about money day and night, day and night. Promoters think about money day and night. They ain't thinking about fighters, especially fighters that aren't their fighters. They don't want to give hype to them. They don't got time for it. They literally don't got time. They say, nah, so I'm sorry, I can't help you. I mean, yeah, I can talk about them for 5 minutes. That's it. So that's one of the main issues, man. There was a disconnect there. And, that really hurt Kovalev's corner. I was watching some interviews. It seems like John David Jackson is like trying to create this small narrative, or giving the trolls a little piece of cheese, is how I see it. By saying that that Kovalev got outworked. Now I believe that he had that in his mind after, and he said, you know what, I need to get the hell out of here because this doesn't feel right. And since I'm not so connected to Kovalev how I want to be, and he didn't really do everything I said, I need to get the fuck out of here. And I'm going to just say some bits and pieces, and then I'm going to just get the fuck out of here. So, he told Marcos from Fight Hub that he was gonna talk to him again. He said, I'm gonna give you some bits and pieces later, some things that I want to talk about. And Marcos was like, well, is it negative? Is it like, is it he said a strong word. It was with a D or something like that, but it was more like is it toxic to your relationship? That's not the word, but it was similar. And John's like, no, it's not. But he said he wanted to talk a little bit more about Andre Ward's team trying to reach out to him. So that's interesting. And these guys are moving fast, man. The Ward team is moving fast. They were definitely checking out the scenery before he came back. Him as a commentator got to see the scenery. He got to know things about people that only media finds out about. You know what I'm saying? He was doing his homework. Kind of like what Bernard was doing, but it's different. Roy Jones is different. Same thing. They already proved themselves in the 90s. So I really feel like they're really taking boxing for a storm, in a sense. I feel like there's other fighters that are paying attention to it, and then there's some fan bases that are moving over and just getting comfortable. Like, yeah, I'm an Andre Ward fan. Definitely buying that shirt. Yep, buying that shirt, buying that hat. Oh yeah, they're becoming fans now. They're dedicated and they're willing to argue with anyone about it, which is perfectly fine. It doesn't matter if your fighter has 100 losses. You can do as you please. We're all people here. So that's basically my take. Ward fighting Anthony Joshua, I don't know. I prefer him fight Wilder. So then you impress me. You know what I'm saying? But he's not going to call out Wilder. And some people are saying that he'll probably fight at heavyweight before he fights Anthony Joshua. But I feel like that Ward is only gonna stick around to fight Anthony Joshua one time. He's not gonna go ahead and just Started doing all this stuff. He's a little bit older, and he's not trying to prove himself like that. And one more thing I will say for the youngsters out there, if you're still listening, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. But the one thing I want to say for the youngsters out there is there are some people, because I just watched the Counterpunch documentary. It's on Netflix. Go and check that out. It's a really good documentary. Good stuff there. Some positive things about, the Golden Gloves and National Golden Gloves and stuff like that. But to the youngsters out there, you can go after the money, you can go after the title, or you can just try to be normal and just not feel like working and doing a 9 to 5, and instead you go and box as a living. I always like to put Triple G or Manny Pacquiao as a good example, mainly because these guys came from another country, and right now American dollar is not the same. So I just want to point that out. Seriously, this just for real, just being honest with you. The American dollar is not the same, and some of the countries that they come from is not. They're not even on America's level when it comes to the dollar bill. But still, it's something to question, even if you're in business or you're anything else. So I will say this, you go after the titles. You got one thing that's coming to you. You're gonna have a lot of hard work. You look at all the guys that go to Ring TV right now. Go look at all the cruiserweights. Not one of them are American. Not one. Okay. You go to 175. The only guy that's American is Andre Ward. Because all these guys from another country, they're going after the titles. You know what I mean? So they go after the titles. They get sponsored. They get investments. And they get these guys. I never read this anywhere, but it's obvious to me that somebody's taking care of their sanctioning fees. Nobody want to pay sanctioning fees if you're a boxer. Floyd paid for his sanctioning fees because he's a promoter. He's always been a promoter. Like, he's always, wanted to handle his own stuff. So he doesn't like sanctioning fees. He's like, nah, I want every penny to stay in my pocket. I respect that. In the business sense, I respect that. But if you're fighting for the money and you want to be like Floyd and you have a title, then it's not popular to keep a title. I feel like it depends on the fighter, and it also depends on the skill. So, do your homework, do your research. If you're a young fighter and you don't want to join the Olympics at all, because when you get in there, there's going to be some guys that are going after the title, and they might hit hard like Lomachenko, or they might be fast like Pacquiao, or they might be a little awkward like Gennady Golovkin. So, be careful. That's just my take. Going back to the review, I like the fact that Ward was hanging out on the ropes a little bit. That was smart. Good move for him. He was hanging low and stuff like that. If you watch a little bit of Joe Frazier, you can tell what Ward is doing. He's basically ducking under all Kovalev's jabs and try to get under so he can come up and hug him. And then when he hugs him, he freaking hits him with, he hits their chin with his shoulder. There's a lot of things that he's doing that's very crafty. It's not stupid. But if the ref is just turning a blind eye, like, I don't have to do anything. Ward's going to do everything. And all I got to do is stop it every now and then. Then it's easy. What's going to happen is that Ward's going to win. If you took this fight to another country, it wouldn't be the same. They would have not even gave Ward a rematch in the first one because he's so embarrassed from the first knockdown. So, if you like Ward, no problem. you know. But I'm always going to argue that. I'm looking forward to Pacquiao Horn. I do want to review some more stuff, but let's see what happens, guys. All right, well, leave your comments. Let me know who you thought won. How did you have your scorecard before the fight was over? I had, at the very least, Kovalev winning 4 rounds. And maybe Ward winning 2, and the first round was almost like a tie for me. But I never scored it as a tie, so I would have basically had Kovalev winning 5 rounds. That's just me being honest, you know. But yeah, comment, subscribe. You know, don't be afraid to engage. We're all here to have conversations and to keep things real, you know, keep things in perspective, especially for boxing, because you know, the hardcore fans are being crushed out. No pun intended. But yeah, the hardcore fans are being crushed out, and it's all because of the rules and regulations and stuff like that. So let's see what happens. I'm still a huge fight fan, always will be. But Ward got the W, man. And that's what counts. So anyway, it's your boy Rex Righteous. Let's continue to keep boxing alive. Peace.